Today's book review is Jennifer Niven's Holding Up the Universe. This is my second Jennifer Niven book. I had read All the Bright Places recently. Really enjoyed that. This one landed on my reading list because one of my followers on my Twitter PLN had said she had just finished it and she really enjoyed it. And I had, of course, had read Jennifer before, so I kind of had a feeling for what I was getting into. And I was in between books. So it was a good time to pick something up new. I was at the library, so I jumped on it, grabbed it. Pretty glad I did. This is a story about Jack and Libby. Jack has face blindness. He is unable to recognize people. He can look at them, but he just can't put a name to the face. I think it goes beyond, and it does go beyond more than just somebody having trouble identifying a person on an off chance. He has a serious brain disorder. He could be talking to you, know who you are, learn who you are, turn away, come back, and wouldn't be able to place that name and face. If he walked out of the room and came back in, totally would not recognize you. So, he had is a very serious problem, and it did lead to some social issues. Libby was America's fattest teen. We've seen that story before, somebody who is becomes more than obese and becomes housebound. Something happens, they have to be cut out of the house and craned out. That's what she was. It's been several years since that's happened. Libby is now she's put her life together a little bit. She's lost a lot of weight. She's still a big girl, but she's lost a lot of weight. And she's figured out what was going on with her and why those things happened to her. And she's dealing with those. But now she wants to, several years later, and she wants to go to regular high school. She was homeschooled. She wants to go to high school. And as you can imagine, she was immediately singled out for ridicule, humiliation, harassment, and bullying. Jack was one of those people that harassed her. After they were sent to group counseling, they learned some respect for each other. They strike a friendship and then later a romance. When I started thinking about how to review this book, I was really kind of stuck. It was a well-written book. It was, the characters were very unique. They were well-developed. The storyline was good. It made sense. It flowed well. There was no downtime. Everything just kind of fit together nicely. And, it was a fun story, and it was entertaining. And the fact that it was set in Indiana, East Central Indiana, that's another couple pluses, right? But, when I started thinking about what does this book mean, what is the message of this book, the obvious one is, it's recognizing people for who they are, not what they look like, but who these people really are. You think about Jack and how he can't recognize people. He doesn't rely on those surface, those shallow things that we recognize people and identify people as. He has to really think about who and what they are. He recognizes his family members that way. His on-again, off-again, on-again girlfriend. He talks about how he recognizes the way she acts. And her personality helps him identify who she is. And he even says about Libby, he says, I didn't recognize her because she was a big girl. I recognized who she was. So I think that, is an obvious message. I think if you think about Libby, there is a positive body image message there. She does not let her size hold her back. She is a dancer. She loves to dance. She tries out for the dance team. She doesn't make it. Probably should have made it, in other situations, but she doesn't make it. But that doesn't stop her. She wants to make a point in her school, and so she stands in the middle of the hallway wearing a purple bikini, handing out flyers. Again, her weight does not hold her back. She's able to run. She chases down some kids that were picking on a fat boy. So, that's a great message in and of itself as well. I think beyond that, Libby, she does stand up for others like her. She tries to defend them. She tries to prop them up. She tries to help other people. So you have that as well. There's a lot about bullying in the book. And there's this scene, where Jack decides that he's not going to drive drunk. So you have that message as well. But I think overall, if you just looked at that, and those are positive messages, those are good messages, but I think that misses the real depth and complexity of this book. It's more than that. I think really overall, this is a book about acceptance. accepting people for who they are, accepting yourself for who you are. It goes so much more beyond than these other messages. Yes, those are important messages, and I think they all fall under this one large category of acceptance. But it's really about finding out the person and learning about them and accepting them in that way, not for something shallow and surface or, some of those things that really are what high schools, how a lot of people get through high school. And I think that this larger message of acceptance is, it pops up more than once. It's not just these here. You also have the fact that Jack's brother might be gay. Rachel, who is Libby's counselor, is gay. Jack is black. We don't hear exactly, but there's no indication that Libby is black as well. So you have that message. You have all kinds of messages about letting people be the people they are and accepting them in their faults and their mistakes. Jack seems to hold a grudge against his dad for what he's done. So you have a lot of those messages. I think in the end, if I look just at those surface messages, if I look just at the obvious pieces, I'd give this book a 3.5. I mean, it was fun to read, and it was interesting, and has a good message, but, it is what it is. But I think it's really, once you think about the complexity of the book and what it really means and what it really signifies and how it is a great illustration of that. And it's a great example for teens, that if teens pick this up, if young adults pick this up and read this and really got into the deeper meaning of it, they would learn some things about how they could navigate high school, how they could better themselves, and how they could really be better people. So in the end, I have to put this on the 4.5 bookshelf.